thought I would talk about purpose today. So I took a week off last week and it was kind of unannounced, but I just didn't feel led to speak about anything. And so I just decided rather than be a goofball and wing it on my own, I would just skip the week. So here I am, I'm back. This week, what I feel led to speak about is purpose. And I don't remember if I've brought this up in the past, but I'm just going to do it because I think it's worth saying. If I've said it before, it's worth saying again. So a few years ago at Bible Study Fellowship, this recurrent theme just kept coming up in my life. It was a word I kept hearing and kept reading about, and it was obedience. How interesting is that? And so what I learned is that, and I've seen other Christians do this, where you focus on a word for the year, and how people get that word varies. I just prayed about it and said, God, I'd really like a word this year. And the impression that I got was my word for the year is purpose. And so what I have seen is that God is revealing my purpose to me. But when I look back at my life, I'd say, okay, when I was a little girl, I wanted to see peace in relationships. And so I worked toward that. I was always kind of a little bit of an entertainer, which I know comes off as surprising, but it's who I am. And so whatever I could do to make peace in relationships in the family or whatever. I mean, my father will joke that I told the mailman, "You look nice today." I mean, he looked the same every day. He was a mailman. He wore a uniform. But so I must have meant it genuinely. I mean, little children don't do things like that to try some secondary gain. So anyway, as looking back, that's who I was. My first job was being a waitress, and that's the service industry. And you didn't, besides just bringing food to people, you're creating how their day's going to go, if they have a good experience or a bad experience, and you're kind of responsible for that. And I learned about being genuine and not asking people or telling people have a good day if I didn't really feel it. And then, okay, so just being genuine and real. And then I went on to become a paramedic, where you're ministering to people in the home, in their home, on like their worst day. And I used to think what a privilege this is to be involved in people's lives at potentially their worst day of their life. And from there, I went on to become a physician assistant, where people come to see me, but with really personal things. And again, I feel honored to be involved in intimate details of people's life. So I have been ministering to people for years, but just never saw that as ministering, or never saw myself as a person who ministers to others. And now, as I find that God is revealing my purpose to me, I see a ministry unfolding. And this year I'll be leading a couple of women's groups. And initially I'm like, whoa, is this something that I can do? But as I look back, I see that God has created me for this, and He uses all the experiences of our lives. So I will say this, I've heard it before, and it really makes sense. If He calls you to it, He will bring you through it. He has created each one of us for a specific place in the lives of others. And those encounters won't happen if we don't walk in the works that He's created specifically for us. So I am going forward, and I would encourage you to do the same. Look for what your purpose is, because we all have one.